Hello everyone, Dillykins, and welcome to another trial list maker. In this episode, we actually gonna be listing all of the Elden bosses. If you had watched my streams, or if you guys are over on Twitch, I have played through Elden Ring. Elden Ring was actually like my first ever like Dark Souls type game. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I fucking enjoyed the setup of this game because to a point that I did 100% it. So, it is time to rank every single boss that was in Elden Ring. Here we go, chat. Here we go. I'm gonna go and say that this probably are some of these bosses I probably even won't remember the names, but I do have a nameless right next to me, so I can remember exactly how to pronounce them. Okay, so we actually start with like the really first boss, or should we just go by like the list? Close your eyes? Okay, we could close our eyes. Let's see. Ooh, okay, we got Mog, the Lord of Blood. I am gonna go ahead and say this. I am thinking of posting the Elden Ring live stream over on YouTube, and that be my Elden Ring playlist. No, man, I haven't really had any like live stream content on YouTube in a while actually, so I may actually do that. But Mog, to me, I don't know if he is my top 5, but he was a incredible fight. I am gonna go ahead and say this to me. We did use Map Genie actually to get the turn to beaten the Mahor curse, black curse thing that he does put on you that literally tanks your health. But to be honest, this boss wasn't that bad. It wasn't hard. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. If you know his rotation. But Mog, Lord of Blood, is a incredible fight, to be honest. He is actually maybe on my top 5. You know what? Yeah, let's put Mog as one of my top 5s. Alright, here we go. Alright, who are we picking? That didn't work out. Okay, who are we picking? This is the Lich Dragon. I had to make sure this is the Lich Dragon, and it looks like it is. The Lich Dragon, to me, it was a alright boss. When we actually fought the Lich Dragon, we was basically like right at the end of the game. Basically, I was going after all of the other bosses before we actually went for Radagon. Before we actually managed to make our way to the Elder Tree to fight Radagon, actually. But I think it's because I literally went through this boss as it was nothing. That plus we did do a lot of wounds farming. We was like level 200 to level 300 whenever we did beaten Radagon for my first playthrough. But it was a alright boss. We already have dealt with other dragon bosses. There's a lot more dragon bosses that I do see on this list is gonna be better than the Lich Dragon. I am gonna go ahead and say that. Alright, let's see if we can do this a little bit better. Okay, so my hand is closer to the Red Fox of Radagon. The Red Fox of Radagon was a it was like a way different pace vibe, mostly like when you literally started up the game, because the Red Fox is like really agile and really aggressive. Do I think it is a incredible fight? Um, when I was going through my runs just to get the other two ending achievements, I went through the Red Wolf of Aragon with no problems at all. I would probably say it was a alright boss, but playing through the boss for the first time, it was a fun boss. That place he did play Astrologer. Yeah, so you mean that? Yeah, and I was a mage. Uh, I gotta say, it was a really good boss. It's not my favorite boss. I liked it, but mostly like fighting through the academy was a pain in the ass. But just to get to Wanala, but I'll probably say like the Red Wolf was a really good boss fight, to be honest. Alright, the boss number 4. Who are we going to get? This is Godfred, isn't it? Yeah, the Godfred the first Elder Lord. I think no, this is a second form. We probably just gonna say it's Godwit, because actually the Godwit is the sated. Yeah, the golden sated. Yeah. I remember now. It was Hoo-Ha Lux Warrior. Yeah, that's the proper name for him. What did I do with him? Basically it's the same boss, but you just fight him a second time. This was a incredible boss to me. But if you have played Elden Ring like +3, +4 and game plus like new game plus, this boss for some odd reason gets 10 times harder. Because I remember struggling through my last playthrough just to get the Elden Lord ending. To get the Furious Flame ending wasn't that bad, but it was just the Elden, when I was trying to get the Elden Lord achievement to 100% it, this boss was a fucking pain in the ass. But this boss here's Aloha was an incredible boss. Like I said, there are some bosses that I will remember by heart, and some I just had to make sure I'm getting the name properly. Alright, that was 4 bosses. Let's go for boss number 5. Who are we going to pick? This is the... Oh, this is one of the... Ancient Spirits. I do remember that. It's... No, it wasn't the Ancient Spirits. God, I'm actually looking through this box. It starts with an L. Yeah, the Royal Knight. Yes, the Royal Knight. Lucia. This is the first fight we actually had to fight her to make our way to Wani's, the witch tower. I do remember that, and that castle. I don't even remember what the castle was. This was a alright boss to me. It was a little weird. No, it was a little weird because you did fight in that courtyard. That place, it did took us like a few times to understand. It's like, oh, this is such an easy boss. I had to pay attention like what her rotation was, but I had to say that this boss here was okay. boss. I don't think you really need that chart. Like I said, there are some bosses that I probably don't even remember. But I'm gonna keep it, chat. Just leave me alone. Okay. I think I should play Elden again, but I'm not 100% sure if I'm up to it though. I didn't click anything. Oh, okay. This is the Warrior Knight of the Hell Tree. We literally tanked through this, like, we one-shotted this boss. I think it's because I was so overpowered. That plus we did had some community players in the chat actually came and helped us through the Heck Tree. This boss was a okay boss. It was a alright boss. I honestly think it is a bit better, a bit higher than the Warrior Knight form. I think it's because you do get the Great Bow spell. That's basically it. Yeah, that was basically it. It was a alright boss. I think it's because we literally one-shotted it, basically. Alright, so that is 6 bosses. Let's go and see if we can get a 7th boss and see if we can do this a little bit better. This is Godric, isn't it? Yeah, this is Godric. Okay. I love Godric's music. God, such a fucking banger. Boss music. Godric is actually on my top 5. I think it's because, yeah, it's like right at the beginning of the game. No, Godric is like your second boss when you get into the Stormville Castle. After you actually fight Margit. But right when Godric actually chopped his literally arm off to turn it into a freaking dragon, that actually made it fucking badass. Now we did one-shotted Godric, but Godric's actually one of my top 5 because of the music. Basically, that plus I love that fight. I think it's because it felt epic. Basically. Alright, that was boss number 7. See what boss number 8 is. And see if we can get one. If I don't pick one, whatever the mouse is closest to is going to be the picker. This is Lord of... This is the... Not the Serpent. Not the something God Eater. No, it's the Racord Lord of the Basiliums. Yes. This boss is a top 5 to me. This is the Volcano Mantle boss. You had to do all of the quests for that chick. God, I don't remember her name. In the Volcano Manor. But this boss here was a top 5 boss. I honestly think that Rykard is probably better than Marg and Godric. Got to say that. Got to say that. Alright, next boss is going to be... Ooh, okay, Melina, Blade of Miss Krella. We one-shotted this boss. We one-shotted the boss, just like we did with the Knight of the Hell Tree. We one-shotted this boss, but I had a little bit of my doubts, if you guys remember that on the stream, that we was gonna struggle through this boss, but I'm really surprised that y'all actually helped me throughout my journey, because the Heck Tree was like the last dungeon we had to run before we actually managed to had to go for the Elden tree actually. But don't know. It's just because like half of the fight, like she's naked, not really naked because she got the scarlet water all over her, but she is a top 5 to me. I honestly, I have my doubts with if she is my top 5. Now, we went through the Heg Tree, we one-shotted everything. That place we was overpowered for that dungeon, but I wanted to run through it so we can get the achievement. I have to say, she was a top 5 to me. I got to say it. Probably like a little bit lower than Godric. Got to go ahead and say that. Alright. Who is going to be the next boss? Oh, the Fire Giant. This was a alright boss. I think it is better than the Lich Dragon, to be honest. No matter saying there is a glitch, literally to be able to dodge his trash can lid, but literally all you have to do in this fight is just attack the feet. That's literally all this boss was. This boss was a white boss to me. I just gotta go ahead and say that. It was a really easy boss because you just have to stay near the feet. No matter, like, the second phase kind of got a little bit interesting, but all you had to do is make sure you stay behind him. That's basically all we did. Doing it by myself, yeah, but we still did it. It was a white boss. It was a white boss. I feel like I'm actually going through these way too quickly, but it is what it is. Ooh, this is Elden. This is it was a Dispel boss. We went through this boss like it's fucking nothing. This was a endgame boss that I did. Not really endgame. It was kind of like the bosses that I needed to defeat before we actually went for the ending. For Radagon. I was a little bit disappointed about this boss, to be honest. Kind of wish it was a little bit more tougher. And then plus I was too overpowered. But it was a Dispel boss to me. I'm pretty sure if I decided to play Elden again with like a different type of class, a lot of people say I should by playing a Blood build. A lot of people say Blood builds is too OP, but you may enjoy it. But we just gotta wait and see. But Elden, he was a Dispel boss. He wasn't a alright boss because we went through him like it was nothing, to be honest. No matter there are other 2 bosses that are actually gonna be in the Dispel spot, but because we actually had to go after them before I went for Radagon. It is I had to make sure which one this one. Oh, this is Maggot. Okay, because before I was gonna do because I had to make sure I'm gonna pronounce it right. Mogdielman. No, Mogdielman was the blade. This is Maggot. Maggot to me was a very good boss. It was a really good boss one at the beginning of the game, like when you step into Stormvale Castle. That place you had to try and like understand the game and like what the game is. No matter like Dark Souls is not gonna tell you. Like Dark Souls and Elden's not really gonna have to tell you shit, but it's basically like the boss that will stall up the game for you. No matter you do have the Tree Senator, no matter I'm surprised that the Tree Senator is not even on this list, but this is more like the main story bosses. Not like the free woman bosses. Kinda wish there was, but I don't see any. Not even the Tree Senator. If the Tree Senator was on this list, You know what? If I actually added it to the trade center, it'd be a top 5 boss to me. I got to say that. Okay. The next boss, whatever my last hand is closest to, is gonna be the Picker. Medic tier. The Medic tier boss was really interesting because you literally find yourself. You already know what you're capable of, to be honest. This boss was a alright boss to me. It wasn't... I think the reason why it was a alright boss is because you literally find yourself. But I don't know if it's better than the Royal Knight. Yeah, the minute that place you get the freaking Medic Tail's ass, no matter the Medic Tail ass is literally the #1 top tier ass to get on the game. If you have it like full maxed out, you can literally zip through any balls like it's nothing. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Alright, next boss. Ooh, the Godskin duo. God, I hate the Godskins. Fuck. That's probably like another reason why I don't want to play Elden, because, again, just because of the Godskin duo. This was absolute fucking hell. But I love the Godskin music. It's so good. A matter of fact, every Godskin to fight is incredible fights. But Godskins was always like fucking trash because you know you're gonna get fucking wailed. But Godskins, to me, the duo, gotta go ahead and say this. I'm actually trying to remember is the Abstill and the Noble? I think the Abstill is the skinny one and the Noble is the big boy. They're like my top 5s actually. I've got to say that actually. Let me actually make sure I'm actually pronouncing the name right. Yeah, the Godskin Noble and the Gobson Abstill. Yep, I was correct there, right. I kind of surprised that the Abstill is not in this, but the Noble is. Nobles can literally roll you to death, but I'm actually just gonna go ahead and get the Noble on the top 5 because basically these are like this. You fight multiple of these throughout the game. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. So, Noble and the duo, top 5s. I have decided from top 5 to top favorites. Alright, here we go. Because we already had more than 5 on that top 5 pick. Let's go with... the closest is the Goggle duo. Or if I probably will call it... I actually had to go back and figure out what these bosses are because I don't even remember. The Valiant Goggles, I'm pretty sure that is what they are. Yes, right when you had to make your way. I don't even remember any of the zones to the Sappho River. Yeah, I remember now. I hated these bosses. I'm gonna go ahead and say that, but yeah, I'm gonna put these bosses at despair. To be honest, I did not like them. They could have been better. To be honest, I gotta go ahead and say that they gotta be better. Alright, let's see what the next boss is going to be picked, and it is going to be. Ooh, Star Courage. This is one of my top favorites. I don't know. I think it's because you like this big ass arena. He literally. Now plus he does literally launch himself literally up in the air and literally minotaur comet his way back into the battlefield. I like how you can actually use your asses. No matter, like, yeah, the asses is what you're supposed to use for this boss, but Star Courage was, it's like a one on my it has to be like better than Vicar. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. But there are still some bosses that is still gonna be on my top favorites. Gonna go ahead and say that. Alright. I like how I'm not picking any bosses by picking them up by not even looking at them, but we just gotta wait and see. Ooh. Ooh. I just actually just said her name just like a few minutes ago, actually. Looking at the list. Rihanna. Yes. This boss was a beautiful boss. That place he does pop comment exude right when the second phase hits. It can be really one-sided if you haven't really paid attention to that move. But Rihanna, to me, it was an incredible boss. I don't know it is better than Hoha, but it was a incredible boss. That place, if you was trying to do the Wani, the witch's quest, it is one of my favorite bosses out of them, to be honest. Just gonna go ahead and say that. Alright. I think all of the beginning, starting the game up. Nope, we actually got one starting up. Actually, there are 3 still beginning game or literally starting the game up bosses still haven't been picked yet. Alright, here we go. Who's gonna be the next boss? This is the Ram Wards. I had to make sure this is, yeah, it's the Magma Realm makers. Finding the first Magma Realm was an interesting one because yeah, I was trying to go for Moonville. But these bosses they're alright bosses. You do fight multiple of these throughout the world anyway, of the map of Elden Ring. I think they are alright bosses to me. I don't know they are better than the Menactian, but they was alright bosses. I think it's because you do encounter them multiple times. You already know what the rotations are. Mostly when you about to finish the game up. They were alright bosses. They're not trash. They could have done better bosses. Just gonna go ahead and say that. They were alright bosses. Alright. Who is the next boss? Oh, this is Morg? This is not the Light of Blood. This is the Morg that you had to fight if you want to get the Frizzy Flame. I think no, this is Morg the Lord of Blood. This is the other Morg. Yeah. I actually got them backwards. I just realized that Morg the Lord of Blood had the wings. Mug the Oldman. Yeah, Mug the Oldman. Let's actually swap these out right quick because this is the Lord of Blood. This is the Oldman. The Oldman, it was an okay boss. No matter, it's literally the same boss. No matter you are in a more tighter arena, Um, I had to swap these two. I had to swap these two out, Chad. I am completely sorry. I didn't pay attention of the wings that um they basically are the same boss. It's a really good boss. It was a really good boss actually. Alright. Who's next? Is this okay, one of the agent spirits? I mean, any other way it's gonna be like them, to be honest. It's a literally one-sided boss. No matter when we actually fight that boss, we was literally going through like the bosses I didn't manage to get through. Yeah, it was one of the agent spirits actually. This is the same thing. They're basically the same boss, basically. Just one looks more beautiful than the other. Trash bosses. If I knew how to get to those bosses more like early into my Elden Ring journey, I could have enjoyed it even more. But when I fight through them, through my first journey, we went through it like it was fucking nothing. Just gonna go ahead and say that. I think you should be more descriptive on your bosses. What do you mean? Like, be like, all these bosses is a lot more different than this boss? No matter, it's like the Monk, the Omen, and then Lord of Blood, they're basically like the same boss. One just has wings and you did a blood curse. The Omen is basically the same boss, but you don't have the wing and the blood curse. It basically is the same fighting style. No matter when we fight the Omen, we didn't have to worry about the freaking wings because I don't think he could fly in that small ass arena. Mostly in being in the catacombs like he was. But when we fight him for the first time, I did not know like why upon where he was standing, that's where the Fancy Flame ending you could have done was at. No matter, I did have to fight the Omen like 2 times just to 100% the game. Alright. I think that's fair enough actually. Godford the First Elden Lord. This was a fun boss. I think he is a little bit more easier than Hozak, like Hozak the Warrior, because literally Hozak the Warrior and Godfred the Golden Sword, they're basically the same boss, but he didn't really have like a second phase basically. They're basically like the same boss basically. I actually think that Godfred the Golden Sword version is a lot better than. I literally have to look into this list again just to remember who this boss is because my mind just went blank. Winala, yes, there we go. My mind's not completely here right now. Alright, this is such a trash tier list, but I don't even care because it's gonna be it. This is Commander Neil. I actually did enjoy this boss. No matter, he was a little bit of a pain, but he was actually a really interesting boss. That plus he did had some assistance with 2 asses though, but this boss here was a. I don't think he's like my top favorites. He's probably like another. It's a really good boss. I don't think he's like incredible to me. I think that's about right. I think that's fair. Okay, I think from now on we are just gonna go and just start dropping some of these bosses down. We got Asdale. Asdale, to me, we did struggle to do this boss. We had more than a few attempts with this boss. It was kind of interesting that you do fight him around the Mountain of the Giants, but I honestly think that this boss to me is probably like one of my favorite bosses, and I fucking hated him, but I think it's because it is one of my top favorites, because I love how beautiful and aesthetic that the arena was. It's a big ass arena. No matter that he can do some serious range with that scooping ass tail, though, that place he can be a little bit sneaky if you don't pay attention. We did trouble to this box. What do you mean about that? But and still, it's probably better than the Godskin duos. Gonna go ahead and I was quoting you? Okay. Sorry about that. I actually was trying to get my list up. The next boss, I don't even remember what the heck it is. Oh, it's the Dillykins soldier, Noxtella. This was a boss. I don't think it was trash. This was a alright boss. We do fight multiple of these. The first time playing, like the first time we actually fight this boss, we literally one-shot it. It's a boss to me. It was a alright boss. Dragon Lord Paxas. Lord Jesus fucking Christ. What a boss. Oh man, what a gorgeous, gorgeous boss. Where should I put Dragon Lord Pakasax? Because the reason why what I should think, because this boss was too simple, but I think it's the reason why I actually love this boss, because how badass it was. He is definitely on my top favorites. Is he better than Star Courage? Well, I honestly think I'm probably gonna put him higher than Star Courage, because that spell that you see in this picture when he drops it, it is literally a nuke, literally erupted in the arena. You had to be so far away from the boss to make sure you don't get hit from that move. That's why this boss is fucking badass. Number one on my top favorites. We got a trash. We actually have a trash boss here. This boss was literally trash. Yeah, I understand it's supposed to be like one of the first bosses that you are supposed to fight. That is I have to make sure this is a proper, what's the proper name for it? It is Leonani the Misgotten. Yeah, it was a okay. At the beginning of the game, it was a okay boss, but now I'm thinking about it, this was another dispel boss. Madakath. oh man, I don't know which one's different. Astil or Manakath. They was up there in the difficulty. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that they was up there. They would definitely was up there. The first phase was okay. You just have to make sure you just don't get hit by that little spell that the little hound, whatever I don't even remember the freaking first phase of that fight. I don't even remember the boss name, but whenever Malakath appears with the black blade, flame blade, this boss was a pain in the ass. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that. If you have played Elden Ring, it is a scary boss because he is fast, he is agile, he is aggressive as fuck. That plus, if you're gonna try to hide, he will pop around those pillars and heart beat. That's how fucking fast he was. He is actually he is better than Lord Dracosax. I gotta go ahead and say that. Maggot the Old Man King. We actually one-shotted this boss. This was a alright boss. Not really. It was a alright boss to me. This was a alright boss. That place you dude had Melna come help you if you're doing the Melna. No matter you had to do the Melna quest, but to continue the story, but we literally one-shotted this boss. No matter why, when we about to make our way to like mountaintop of the giants, that's when like the game kind of changed like in the difficulty, and then that's when we had to start farming more wounds to get more levels. And that's when we started one-shotting like the hill tree and everything, and like the fire giant was before the heck tree. I'm just gonna go ahead and let you guys know, but this boss, when we fought it, we literally one-shotted it. And the last boss, I'm surprised that the El Beast, it's not it, well, El Beast and Radagon is basically the same boss. If you know how to beat the El Beast or Radagon, this boss is a easy peasy boss. Yeah, it is the final boss. If you have the special weapons called the Magma Daggers, I think that's what they actually called. There's like a low percentage drop rate around the Volcano Manor area with one of those freaking serpent ads you had to fight. If you actually get those well drop weapons, you can literally go through Radagon with like it's nothing. It's the same thing with the Black Blade. He is weak against fire stat. That's why this boss was really easy to melt. But first time fighting Radagon was a incredible fight. He's not my top favorite. I think he's like in between. Yeah, he's not really my top favorite. He's topping a incredible fight. No matter that other beast, that other beast comes in, that other beast will walk you world. I'm gonna go ahead and say that. Now, I should have known the bosses a little bit more by heart, but when I made this tier list, it literally has been like a few months since I have played Elden Ring, and this is actually the official video because we have done this trailers before in the past. I just never uploaded it, and I decided to delete it because I know I could have done better on it. But I honestly think we could have done better on this one, but this is gonna be the official video. But I'm trying to go back into this. What should you guys think what I should do? Like, should I change any of these bosses? none of the spell bosses are ever gonna get touched. I think the reason why I want to get back into Elden, I haven't considered about it, is because I want to experience the Blitz Dragons fight a little bit more better than what I did when we did fight it for the first time. And then right when I get the Ages of the, I think it was the Ages of the Stars ending was the Ronnie the Witch's ending. I had to go for the Frizzy Flame ending, and then I had to go for the Ella Beast ending. And I was like, yeah, that only took me like 6 hours to do just to get those two other endings, but there was a lot of bosses that I just had to skip through. Cause there was only like a few steps he had to go through just to literally go through all these other boxes, basically. I feel like Red Wolf could be, yeah, Red Wolf is top on very good. Maggot, the Old Man, Commander Now. I think everything is gonna be it. Godskins, Astel, Melina, Godwick, Mog the Lord of Blood. Can't believe I got these two messed up. Radikar, Starcourage, Dracosax, and Malakath. I think that is it, actually.